Gentlemen, looking ahead to 2025, glorious 2025, I have my handmaiden bonnet ready for me somewhere here because it's Project 2025. I'd like to pose the first question to you. Who, if any, of Trump's cabinet picks or staff nominations will not be confirmed? Is there anyone on the list most in danger of not making it to the Trump staff? Mercer, you first. Peter, I'll let you go last.
What happens is the Senate can't rubber stamp every pick. And so in one way, there was already one, which is Matt Gaetz. I'm surprised there hasn't been more negative attention at Kristi Noem, who doesn't really seem to bring much to the table. But gosh, if I had to put money down, I mean, I still think RFK pulls it out. I think he's got the toughest row to go. But if you had to say one's not going to get confirmed, it might be him, and it may not be because of the abortion stuff. It may be because of the big agra fight.
Yeah,
it might be because some of these big agricultural states don't like what he's going to do. But I still think he would adjust on that. So, gosh.
Do you think it's 100% then? Are you going for Trump just sweeps in because he already sacrificed Gaetz?
I'll do that.
Okay. All right. It's down. It's in writing. Peter, are you with Team Josh or do you have any question
I
marks?
actually am with Team Josh. That's what I was going to say. But I will add this. Okay. That's my first answer. Consider this my second answer. If there is another person to fall, I would guess either Kash Patel or Tulsi Gabbard, even though you've not seen any of the heat on them that they tried to aim for a while at Hesketh that they did bring to Gaetz. But when I look at this list, I say, who is the biggest threat to the folks that we're up against? To the swamp, and Kash Patel and Tulsi Gabbard are the two that most jump out at me. Whatever's going on inside the FBI that needs to be cleared out. And also frankly, what Pogo would call the war machine, the deep state. Some of what I've heard, some of what I've read in papers, yeah, they're absolutely terrified of her having that position as, with all the intelligence. So I wouldn't be surprised if suddenly there's out of nowhere, there's a big campaign against Tulsi.
I think Kash gets it though, because of what's going on in New Orleans. It's going to be easier to get your FBI guy through. But Tulsi, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I was going to put Tulsi up there too, because I think she's more vulnerable with some of the Republicans in the Senate as well. So possibly Tulsi, but hey, Team Josh has a strong argument. Let's go with that. Next question, gentlemen. The Elon Trump romance that's going on, does it survive 2025, or do we see a big rupture between Elon and Trump? And what will that rupture be over if we have it? Peter, I'm going to go to you first.
I don't know what the rupture will be over, but there will definitely be a rupture. Those are big personalities. My guess is, and the Democrats are smart, they know how to bait Trump. We saw Kamala do it in the debate, frankly. All this stuff about how Trump's really the vice president and he's really, Elon's really calling the shots. They know what they're doing. If they do enough of that and it gets under Trump's skin and it gets inside his head, these are two very big personalities. They're both at the absolute pinnacle of their achievement, of their career. There's very few people like the two of them. And eventually, I think that does go bad, that relationship. And maybe as well, the one between Elon and Vivek. I'll be curious to see how that relationship goes too. But sometimes when you have people who maybe annoy you, but you don't say so, but they bring something to the table, but they can be overbearing. What you do is you pair them up together and congratulations, you guys have a project, go do it. And eventually they go at each other. I don't wish that for any of this because I love everything that those guys are doing. I love Elon. So that's
most everything.
What's that?
Oh, Mercer has reservations.
You don't love everything they're doing.
No.
All right, Mercer.
I kind of feel maybe I'll be a little counterintuitive on this one. I certainly do not see a big rupture. I suppose that's possible, but in many ways, Elon's already won. He telegraphed over the Christmas break the H-1B visa thing, and all the conservatives on Twitter were freaking out, like, no, this isn't what we fought. We don't want this. And Donald Trump's like, Yeah, that's okay. I'm cool with the H-1B visas. He finally confirmed it yesterday, but he telegraphed that he was in favor of it. So in many ways, he already won on his biggest thing. Elon did. I mean, I still think there's opportunities for reform, and I think that's why Ted Cruz is really smart to be pushing it. Like, hey, like we can have H-1B visas, but let's just kind of reform it so we're not talking about gas station operators and teachers like we can easily have American jobs for. But I think ultimately what's going to happen with this DOGE committee, it's going to be a lot of fireworks and, oh, this is so cool. And they're going to have their final report right around May 10th or something like that. And, this is great. And it's not going to do a damn thing. There's no way Congress is going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. They'll be like,
I'm so disappointed to hear that.
And they'll send it to the committee of we don't care. And Elon Musk is going to then be like, kind of bummed that Congress didn't do anything about it. And Trump will say, oh, this is terrible. Congress, blah, blah, blah. And then Elon's going to get distracted by rocket ships and
Mars
and cars that run on electricity.
He'll be on to the next big thing. Yeah.
And, October, everyone will be like, DOGE? What's DOGE? So
I'm so sad. Don't say that.
Blow up, I feel like, it's going to go out in a whimper.
Ugh. I'm sad to hear that about DOGE. I hope you were wrong, but you're probably right. All right. So let's see. Okay. So that's something that Trump will not get done. So we have a question from the chat. Jason wants to know, in the first 100 days, what is the first big thing the Trump administration can accomplish in 2025 to get the country back on track? Mercer and Peter.
Well, it's the thing that they don't need permission from Congress, and that's getting Tim Homan. The borders are cranking out and deporting people, and they're going to go into great detail about how many people they've deported and what crimes they've been committed. And so the rapists, the thugs, the murderers, and they're going to let everyone know about that. That's going to be a noticeable sign. He's going to invoke, I think, something like a national emergency to appropriate funds to build border wall. He's not even going to bother with Congress and that kind of stuff. So those are the things that he can do, in the first 100 days that are pretty obvious. The next thing after that, if I could whisper in Donald Trump's ear and say, here's something that you could do.
Donald.
Which would be, again, just to kind of remember the echoes of the populist movement, all this stuff like the Tea Party thing was a different, Rachel was on here last time talking about the Tea Party revolt and that kind of, again, what happened? It fizzled like DOGE will. But you could say, when the stock market went crazy in 2008, everyone in Congress got together and said, it's an emergency. It's a national emergency. We need to do something. We got to help bail out these big corporations. And what Donald Trump could then say to Congress, saying, you know what? Maybe we need to recognize the national emergency right before our own eyes and help out the middle class and the lower middle class. You got together and passed an aid package to bail out billionaires and companies and stuff like that. I want one on my desk in the next 50 days that's going to provide an emergency tax cut to families who suffered through inflation and suffered through backbreaking prices at the grocery store. Do that reconciliation tax fight right away. Just do it. While you got Tim Homan working on the border. That would be an animating thing. Use that echo of saying, hey, we know you can work together and get things done, accomplished fast if you're bailing out billionaire corporations. You would have that echo of almost sounding like Bernie Sanders. And it would be really smart rhetoric, which is, by the way, Bernie just came out against H-1B visas, which is kind of funny.
That was
he's understanding.
Funny.
It's a new moment. You got to up the ante on the populist rhetoric. Now he's a communist, so he's not.
All right, from your lips to Trump's ears, Peter. Anything you want to add to that? What can Trump do in his first 100 days?
Oh, I agree with both those answers. Immigration was the first thing I thought of, and I didn't think of the tax cuts. But that's it was a tax credit actually you were talking about. Yes, Josh.
Well, tax credit, one thing, but the thing is, everything about the 2017 Trump tax cuts, which lowered the tax rates, as well as doubled the child tax credit, those are going to expire at the end of the year. And again, even with the rhetoric, he could say, it's Josh Hawley had great rhetoric on this. The corporate tax cuts aren't going to expire; they were permanent. But tax cuts for families, we have to give explanations. Or do we really need this?
Right. But no, that's what I was thinking of too. Was 2017 was that's what's the big thing that Trump got done when he had Congress? The other thing I was thinking of too is he has a relatively free hand in foreign policy. That doesn't require as much oversight. So I'm wondering, I'd like to see him do some sort of like totally out of the box thing where, maybe he invites, and I'm not sure they'd be willing, but invites Putin and Zelensky to a conference and the three of them sit down. I could see him doing something crazy like that. I'm not sure they'd agree to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of like shocking breakthrough in the Russia-Ukraine thing.
Yeah.
I think that's possible. I think you're right. I think it's very possible.
I do too.
Basically
Absolutely.
what it would be is some sort of face-saving gesture where Ukraine cedes some territory.
Right.
And it's like, it's better to cut off your arm than to keep fighting like this.